What's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're playing Aragorn the Uniter in Historic Brawl. This is a legendary creature that came out of the Lord of the Rings set. It is 4 color, so red, green, white, blue. It's a 5/5 human noble and has a bunch of different abilities, so bear with me while I go through them. So, whenever you cast a white spell, create a 1/1. Whenever you cast a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn deals 3 damage to target opponent. Whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. What is maybe not obvious here is that if you cast a spell that has 2 or more colors in it, you get both effects. So, as you can kind of tell by looking at the deck, there's a lot of multicolored spells. So, like this charm right here would affect, we would do 3 damage to an opponent. We would make a creature get +4/+4, and we would create a 1/1 just by casting this one spell. So Aragorn provides tons of value, but we have to get to all 4 colors and keep him on the battlefield because people are well aware of how powerful this card is, so they're definitely going to try to remove it. So we do have some ways to protect him, like God's willing. But essentially we're going to try to overrun our opponents with our value. I'm trying to see here if there's anything particular that stands out. It's kind of just all situational value stuff. You know, we got ways to remove opponents' stuff if we need to, while also advancing our game plan with the multicolored thing. We have a lot of red spells because the ability, you know, maybe not in Commander where people have 40 life, but in Historic Brawl where you start out with 25, I mean, you know, having really low mana value red spells, if you cast enough of them, I mean, you could basically burn the opponent out. So as you can see here too, a lot of our multicolored spells also have red in them. So we're really trying to like use the red trigger a lot in this deck because of how easy it is to basically do a ton of damage to the opponent. Everything else is kind of just like value town stuff, you know? Like this is just a fun creature, but it's also 3 colors. Kotorius Khan, great card, but it's also 2 colors, right? So it's basically multicolored good stuff. Let's see if we can get some wins with it in the queue. All I changed was the card sleeves. That's why it asked me about that. No, I don't want to play Explorer. There we go. Ever since the most recent update, it keeps defaulting to Explorer. Not sure why. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Ricksmithy's Slumbering Isle, super fun commander. It's basically a mana rock until it becomes a 12/12. But it adds Simic, so it's a 4 mana rock that adds Simic essentially, and then eventually it becomes a 12/12. So we'll worry about the 12/12 when we get there. We have a red source and a colorless source. Not great. If we had a green source, we could make a treasure. We have to mulligan this. We don't have enough colors. This is better. Sucks we have no blue spells in our hand. I'm not even sure if it is better. If we had a white source, this would be great. Let's keep this and hope we draw into more lands. We have enough of them in the deck. We don't have a green source either, because that would be a good draw. Let's get the tap land out of the way. Like mana rock? I guess it's a land. Sorry, it's not a mana rock, it's a land that adds Simic, so that's even better. Harder to get rid of. Let's see what we draw. Okay, cool. Enters battlefield tapped. So let's do it like this. Let's do green. Then the only color we need to get is white. But we can play most of our hand this way. Okay, ramp, 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 ramp. See if there's any stick. There is. It might have a wash away or something for Aragorn. We'll get a red source. This is part of the challenge of the deck, is getting all the mana assembled. Shark Typhoon. Okay. Interesting they didn't hold on to that. Gotta start worrying about Arixmathes. Aha, we did it. We did it, we did it. Is there any stick? Yes. So what do we do? I think we just go for it, and if they have a counter, then we're pretty much out of the game. Yep. Okay, that's good for next turn. We'll have enough mana to cast it next turn. Thankfully, this does not have trample. So if we make enough 1/1s, we can block it forever. Extra turn. Hydroid. Okay. Good game, opponent. It's a great way to build that deck. If you're going to build like big... hello? Hello? Claim? If you're going to build a Simic deck, a lot of people just, like, when they build a Modi... Maybe a Modi's a bad example because of the Cascade aspect, but if you build like Uro or Arixmathes, a lot of people don't want to put counter spells in their deck, but it's just the only way blue has to remove anything. You know, instead of literally removing something off the board, they remove it off the stack. So it seems kind of mean to build it that way, but it's super effective, as you saw. So if you're thinking of building a Simic deck that's like, you know, big Simic, you know, ramp into a bunch of big spells, you should definitely put a handful of counter spells in there. Speaking of Simic decks. So I'm guessing Aragorn's in Hell Queue because we're playing some pretty strong commanders. Bone Crusher, does that kill this? It does. So we keep, but we don't have... We have this, and we can island cycle to get red mana, and then we have a cold... I guess we have to. This deck usually barfs out their whole hand by turn 3, and then they'll have like 11 mana. So we'll see. We'll see if we can keep up with that. Drawing an untapped land would actually be really cool. Nope. Why would we do that? Okay. Island cycling allows us to get any island, and since this is an island, we can get this. Takes care of all of our colors. But they already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Okay. We don't have a way around this trigger, so they can just do it to our face. Fine. Now they only have 3 mana because their creatures aren't all mana rocks. They have a land. They replay their commander. Or maybe not. Maybe they're going to set up a little bit. Okay, 4/4 coming in. It's good against their commander. So what do we do? I wish we were drawing some freaking lands, but it's just not going to happen. Do this on white. I think that allows us to play Aragorn, and then we'll pass. Oh, this is a sorcery? Oh, bummer. Oh, I thought that was an instant. Well. That's probably GG. Artifacts, instants, and sorceries. Yep. What is it, like turn 5 and they have a 7 mana Praetor on the field? Fair and balanced, fair and balanced. Doesn't say enchantments though, right? No. Well, at least we have enough to block anything that wants to attack. But they're going to play their commander and then spin the wheel. I think we're pretty much out of the game at that point. I'm not even going to give him a good game. I hate this commander so much. I hate it so much. It is such a bad card design. I've talked about it before, so I won't go into it, but 2 mana commander for that much power is such bad card design. Especially in Simic colors. Like, if you made it like Boros, like, fine, right? But in Simic, where it's like the easiest deck to ramp in. Easiest colors to ramp in. Yeah. Silly Watsy. Okay, Gandalf the White. This should be interesting. We have 3 of our colors. No blue, though. We have a way to get treasures. And we have a way to get other lands if we get more lands. Give them a hello. Nice, it's ramp. Let's do this first, because we can shock this in. So this is mono white legendaries and artifacts at flash speed. Pretty cool. I should probably make this deck at some point. This can also be a land. I forgot about that. Let's keep this as a land. Right? Right? Because we can... I think we... No, I think we just play the creature. Because then next turn if we draw a land we can use Sharn. I was tempted to play Magda, but I figured since they're a white deck they're going to have creatures, but I guess I'm mistaken. Cool. Not punished. We could also just play Aragorn. Do they have removal for Aragorn, though? Let's put pressure on the board and get ourselves some lands that we desperately need. I don't think this affects their deck at all. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate ability. Yeah, I don't think that affects them at all. Okay, they get rid of my mana rock, but again, good. It's a good thing we got these lands. What does this do? During your turn, opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Whenever attacks, create X soldier artifact. Creature tokens for X is the number of soldiers you control. So that starts to get out of hand. Green. So maybe next turn we can do both of these and kill it. For now, we're just going to attack. They can block if they want. They do not want to block. We can do this as well. I think a hexproof 4/4 is pretty good. So Gandalf has flash. I mean, I'm assuming that's what they're going to do. Would you like to block? Resolve. How are you going to block? Okay, so I can make my creatures all be 5/4s and gain indestructible. That seemed like a good play. Goblin and Archomancer coming in clutch. Popper All-Star. I should have played Magnet first. No, it's only dwarfs, never mind. They're mono white, so they could have a board with it. That's a good card.
When you understand reality, you understand
Interesting.
your past is unwritten.
Well, hold on. Do this. No, I think this has to go here. We don't want to risk an Archomancer. Get a treasure. Wait, what? Isn't this an instant?
This experience still proved useful.
Huh? Hello? Arena? Okay, well. I was hoping to make the treasure before combat and kill their thing and then get 2 triggers off Aragorn, but whatever. Oh, that's a good card. Abrade. This is an artifact, isn't it? So we get this back. Sure. Put one of them into your hand. So, hand. Library. Exile. Do you have an answer for my 9/9? Okay. Next. You gotta block the 9/9, right? No. Boom. All right. Well, I think we showcased Aragorn there. Let's try at least one more game. I definitely think this deck, I think this deck could work really well in a control shell. I try not to, I know I build a lot of control decks, so I'm trying not to build everything as a control deck, because, you know, everything could work as a control deck if you really squint hard enough. It's just that historic Brawl really you win more if you make your deck more controlling. It's just the way it is because it's a 1v1 format. It's essentially like, you know, your opponent and you can both do powerful stuff. If you deny them from doing their powerful stuff, then you typically are able to do your powerful stuff and win. But you're only able to stop the other opponent if you have controlling type cards. But I just didn't want to build this commander like that, because I think when people read this card, they think of it in terms of like the actual format of commander, where you have more freedom to get Aragorn down and actually like start popping off. It's more difficult to do that in Historic Brawl because people are just going to remove your stuff. So anyway, my thought process is maybe I make this video and then maybe I come back and make a more controlling version of this commander, you know, later on down the line. Anyway, we got 3 lands. What are we playing? Zamon and Dina? Okay, so Sultai, draw cards, ramp. This doesn't do anything against Zamon and Dina, but we can pitch it to Thrill. Okay. I think we keep. They get to go first. So their strategy is essentially play a bunch of little creatures that they don't care about sacrificing, and maybe have other effects to draw extra cards. So let's do Valakut tapped. This card does nothing in this matchup. This is better, but still not quite there. It's hard to say how much they're going to lean into the drain and gain strategy here, but we'll see. This may, even though we don't want to block with Magda, it may, hold on, at the beginning of your end step, return, so we don't want to play that. It may make them not want to attack if they don't have another creature because, never mind. I was going to say, because we would get a treasure if we attack, they may not want to attack. They're probably going to sack, draw an extra card, drain me. Okay. We'll use this to get white. If I were them, I would have saved the removal spell for Aragorn, but maybe they have more. Let's try to get a board state. They're starting to get a lot of mana, so they could start to pop off here. I was hoping to get another creature or something, but so they draw 2 cards. Okay. That's a great draw. We're not quite there yet, though. can do Dream Trawler next turn. But does Aragorn survive? I mean, they only have one black source. I just feel like if I play Aragorn, it's going to get removed. But I have no way of killing these 4 toughness creatures. We could play Cond and discover 4. Who knows what we hit? We could create a 3/2, which would stop them from attacking, but then what? Quintorius gets hit? Well. Let's make them focus on getting rid of Quintorius. Alright. That's free sack fodder for them every turn now. But we can get down Dream Trawler next turn. Oh, I don't have double blue. Well, I can go get another blue source. Do we Aragorn and then rip apart? No, we can't do that either. Prismari command. We could rip apart and Prismari command, get rid of Zimon and Dina. Or get rid of Hydrocrisis so that they have to start attacking Quintorius. We can do... I mean, we can't do that at instant speed. Alright, well, they're tapped out, so it seems like... Seems like the time to do it. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? I don't have another... Oh my goodness. You gotta be fucking shitting me. Well, that was a punt and a half. And I already played this turn, didn't I? Right? Yeah. Well, we already lost the game, but I guess I'll keep playing it. Yeah, I know. So Quintorius dies. We have a bunch of stuff in hand. So they're really leaning into the, well, I guess not. Maybe not. Maybe they're not leaning into the life gain, life loss thing too much. Okay, 10 life, untap all your lands. Yep, seems pretty good. Sure. So we need another blue source to play Dream Trawler. At least this thing has lifelink. Sheoldred would be great. I mean, great for them, awful for us, but... Uh-huh. They could pay 10 life here and untap all their stuff. Pay 10 life. No? Alright. So I can only do one of these things. All these spells only do 2 damage to creatures, which is just so unfortunate. That is the downfall of trying to pack the deck full of multicolored stuff. It's not the most powerful, it's just the most versatile usually. Well, I'll gain 5 life, although I don't think it really changes much. Draw some cards. Drain me. They should probably attack all this turn. But they may be having too much fun and just want to get as many triggers as possible. So I think they're going to use all their mana, and then they're going to Beldros to untap everything. They should attack all, but they're being extra cautious, I guess. Interesting they didn't try to go for Aragorn. Do we control a wizard? We do not. I don't think either of these things do what we need in this situation. Oh man, it's one turn too late though. Oh, that's heartbreaking. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. It's still not enough, but we gave it our best shot. If we do somehow survive, we got the play, but I don't see it. If they choose to not attack all again, that's our only chance. But they should really attack all. That's fine. You're just helping me gain life. You should attack all, opponent, I'm telling you. As your friend. You gotta stop playing creatures. Helping me gain life, and you gotta attack all. They might be having too much fun to think about how to actually win this game. I'm gonna laugh so hard if I'm able to cast this. Okay. So they made the right call. I don't think there's any amount of blocks that stop this, but I will try. Okay, so let's block. This is their biggest thing. What's their next biggest thing? This guy. And anything else? This is their next biggest thing. Then I guess it's the 2/2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 12? Yeah, they have exactly lethal. They have exactly lethal. None of this is going to gain me life. Is there any other way I can block here? I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, they have exactly lethal. Okay, well, I didn't even read that. Yeah. Give me a good game. Could have won the turn before if you were actually paying attention, opponent, but that's fine. You ended up winning anyway. Alright. Let's do a deck review. So I think we learned that, you know, this is a card built for Commander. It's not built for Historic Brawl. It is a great value card, but you have to build, if you're gonna make Aragorn work in Historic Brawl, you got to build it a certain way. Building it like this, which is how you would build it in Commander, you'd build like a really cool multicolored spell deck, so that every time you cast something, you get multiple triggers off Aragorn. That's how you build the Commander version of this deck. In Historic Brawl, if I'm going to make this deck actually get wins, I'm going to change all this. And I'm going to have to be okay with putting in optimal cards that are better, and maybe they're not multiple colors, right? Like, you know, I definitely could have leaned less into the red side of things. We didn't really get to burn our opponents out, so maybe that was a flawed strategy. But, you know, these cards like Prismari Command are cool, but, you know, it only does 2 damage. So that's not like a great removal spell, right? It's cool that it's 2 different colors and you get 2 triggers, but as you saw, I mean, we were facing that that Sultai deck, and we got a bunch of triggers off Aragorn, and it didn't matter, right? Just because we were able to scry 2 and make a 1/1 and then do 3 damage to their face, I mean, it just wasn't enough value to overcome what they were doing. So, you know, I think if you get cheeky and you can build this as like a control deck, I think you actually have a chance to make Aragorn work, because then the value actually matters. You know, if you're like, if you built this as like an Azorius control deck, or maybe like a Bant control deck with like splashing red, you know, you could have all the ramp and all the control pieces, and you'd still have some multicolored spells, like maybe you put Teferis, like the Teferi Planeswalkers in, and you can get multiple triggers that way, but you're going to be able to win the game because you're able to stop the opponent from popping off. Nothing in our deck basically allowed us to stop our last opponent from popping off, except for Ondu Inversion, which we drew 1 turn too late. So that's my 2 cents. If you're going to build this deck, think hard about how you build it. Think about what kind of queue they're going to put you into. I mean, I'm sort of saying that without saying it, but you know, let's talk about it. Aragorn is going to go against really powerful commanders, so you have to be able to combat what they're doing, and that usually means removing their commander. So how much like actual removal do you have in your deck? You know, you're in white, so you have access to all the best removal. You should probably have it in there. So I could have definitely built the deck better that way. I thought this deck would be able to run people over, but that definitely wasn't the case. I think the restriction of 4 colors is too great for this to be an aggressive deck, which is kind of how I built it. I think it needs to be more of a control deck. It just takes too long to get Aragorn out. Best case scenario, he's out by like turn 4, and by then most opponents have a pretty decent board state, so something to think about. The one win we got was cool. I can think it showcased how maybe it would work in Commander. But in Historic Brawl, you need to be able to answer the opponent's threats, and the threats are usually very powerful, and if you don't answer them, they get out of control. So that's how I would have fixed this deck. And like I said in partway through the video, I think I'll come back to this and try it. I think I'll come back and build this deck in a way that I think will be successful at Historic Brawl. Who knows what that'll look like, but it'll probably be some form of control shell with Aragorn as a value catalyst. Anyway, if you liked the video, please subscribe. I'm putting out 1 video a day. All different kinds of commanders. Aragorn was definitely a step in the direction that I'm not normally an archetype I'm not normally playing, but I tried. Multicolor, aggro. But yeah, I try all different kinds of stuff because I like having fun. And even though we lost most of those games, I still had fun playing them. So I think that's the main point here. Go ahead and like the video, leave a comment down below. How would you build the deck? Do you think I'm on point there, or do you think I'm way off my rocker? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.